Hi guys, how are you doing? Senior Gaming here, and in today's episode I'm bringing you GrandZenka and a completely new added system called Ragnarok. So if you're a GrandZenka player or perhaps idle player, consider subscribing to this channel as I bring a lot of tips and tricks related to these kind of games. Having that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. So the newly added system Ragnarok can be now unlocked at level 140. And in order to find it the quickest way, we're gonna head over to a sync plug, which is obviously a fourth tab from the bottom. And then we're gonna head into a third tab, which is called Ragnarok. And as you see in here, we've got a variety of different equipment. Some of them is being currently equipped. We've got options of enhance, dismantle, do some settings, etc. You know, this is very much similar to all the equipment you will wear in a game. Anyway, but we're gonna come back to this screen in just a second, as firstly I want to show you how we can actually farm all the materials and equipment itself. Okay, so we're gonna head over into a gate now. And obviously from a gate, this is where you're gonna farm daily your normal different type of resources. But when we scroll all the way down now, there has to be a new addition called Mythic Descent. So once you tap into that, first information that we see, we can actually have 20 of golden keys. And obviously these keys will be a crucial in order to access this content. So at the moment we're getting around 15 for free daily. But as the message says, obviously make sure you do not exceed that number 20. Okay, so obviously what you're gonna do, you're gonna go and battle against every single one of these gods of Ragnarok. As you see currently, I have managed to get to level 20, and let's discuss what we see on the screen. So every single one of these gods is actually resistant to 2 of the attributes, meaning you can only use the third one in order to battle them. So when it comes to Neptune, we can only use battle skills against him. When it comes to Pluto, we can only use blast against him. And finally Mars, we can only use spirit. And as well, what's worth noting at this stage is we need to discuss the rewards. As mentioned, this is where we're gonna get all the resources, and the resource itself gonna be a Ember of the Gods, which is guaranteed, and also Soul Gem. I'll tell you just in a second what they do and what they're used for. And obviously the main item we farm in here is that unopened Griffin or Pygmalion or Stigma itself. And that's the equipment, which is obviously a key area that you want to focus on playing this game content. And as you currently see, this will be depending on obviously level that you currently are. I've got a chance of obtaining one with 10.9%. So roughly, obviously 1 every 10, I've got a chance of getting one of these equipment. Alright then, so from this point I want to show you actually what we can do with the resources, and the first one can be actually spent in shop. So if we go into a shop, and then we go into a Ragnarok products, this is where you're gonna scroll a little bit up, and as you see, the first material we have talked about, which was Ember of the Gods, can be actually exchanged for a particular item. So currently, if we come back here one more time quickly, I'm farming roughly about 195 per every single sweep. And obviously we need 10,000 in order to buy one. So it is pretty expensive. Well, obviously you're gonna earn more Ember as you're gonna start progressing. And then when it comes to a Soul Gem, this is where we now finally coming back to our sync plug and all the Ragnarok tab. And for example, if we click on that item I'm currently wearing when it comes to a Griffin, this is where you're gonna have your settings. So this is no different to anything else you have been doing with your skills or equipment. You've got a chance of actually unlocking some additional options and attributes, and in this particular case they are called potential, and this is where we're gonna use our Soul Gem. And obviously lastly, the items itself, it's what you see on a screen. So when it comes to a main statistics for the equipment, we've got Griffin, which is mainly increasing our attack power, Pygmalion mainly increase our stamina, and Stigma increases HP recovery per second. So now if we look closely at all the items we've got, so you've got your current preset, so you can see which item you're wearing when it comes to Griffin, which item you're wearing when it comes to Pygmalion and Stigma. So we need to now discuss what we've got on a screen. So when it comes to Griffin itself, When we talk about equip effect, your default statistic and special statistic is pretty much fixed. Obviously the number will increase as you're gonna upgrade the item itself, but it's a bonus which is worth paying attention to. Because as you see, this one I'm currently wearing gives me a Hero's Wrath, but for example, Griffin of Life would give me a Hero Strike, whilst Griffin of Distraction actually will give me a critical rate. So there will be a different, obviously, stats you want to aim for and different bonus. Obviously, Hero's Wrath is the strongest from all of them. As you see, there is also a better grade of the item itself, therefore there was no brainer. I'm currently using this one. And now you also got a set effect. So as you see, just underneath, we have just mentioned some of them. We've got a Griffin of Vesta, we've got Pygmalion of Doom, and we got Stigma of Ceres. And these are actually different names of the sets. So if I would wear a Griffin of Vesta, Pygmalion of Vesta, and Stigma of Vesta, there will be additional set effects applying at all times. So this is something obviously in the later stages you'll be able to play around and have these additional boosts when it comes to your outputs. We have already discussed potential, but also what is worth noting that during the opening stage, because every single item you're gonna purchase is gonna be unopened, you've got a chance of actually having between 1 and 4 abilities. So as you see, I got pretty lucky with this one having 3, but this is not a maximum output yet. So obviously I will be aiming for something with 4 attributes. And then lastly, obviously all the other equipment you do not use, you've got a chance of dismantle it and then change it into 500 Ember of Gods, and then obviously trying your luck again in the shop itself. And then just a very end element now. As you see now, we've got a graphic addition to our skin itself. So as you're gonna wear a different equipment, obviously you get a chance of having these different visual effects as well. Alright then guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, as mentioned earlier, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching and take care.